Daf Yomi, Tractate Zevachim, page 64a, top of the page, with the words Shi'im, Hiza, V'lo Mitza. Shi'im, Hiza, V'lo Mitza, Kshera, B'lvad Shizim B'chut HaSikra, U'lemata Midam HaNefesh. Because if he sprinkled the blood but did not squeeze out the rest of it, it is still valid, provided that he places some of the blood of the soul anywhere on the altar from the red line and below. This version of the Braita states that the offering is valid no matter where on the altar its blood was squeezed out, but it is essential that blood is sprinkled on the lower half of the altar. Shlosh Devarim Kulo Kule. I always wondered, why is it that sometimes when it quotes the Mishnah it says v'chule, like etc., or sometimes kule? Like, why? What makes them switch? Is it just arbitrary? Shlosh Devarim Kule, and the rest of it, meaning etc. Chadash Had Amalim. The Mishnah teaches that there were three matters for which the portion of the southwest corner below the red line served as the proper location: the sacrificing of a bird sin offering, and the bringing of the meal offerings near the altar and pouring the remaining blood. The Gemara cites sources to prove that each of these three matters was performed at the southwest corner. The source with regard to the bird sin offering is that which we said earlier in 63b, that it is derived from a comparison to meal offerings. Hagashot Dichsiv Gisha El Mizbeach Shiyared Nichsiv El Kol Dam Apar Yishboch Nisot Mizbeach. The source for bringing meal offerings near the altar at the southwest corner is derived from that which is written, and he shall bring it to the front of the altar. The source for pouring the remaining blood at the southwest corner of the altar is as it is written, and all the remaining blood of the bull he shall pour out at the base of the altar. Leviticus 4:7, which the Gemara derives to be referring to the southwest corner. See 53a. Milmala disuchamayim yayin ve'lozahov kishihi rabba b'mizrach ma'itayim ve'Rabbi Yochanan amar b'pnei she'akrava mibeis hadeshen. The Mishnah teaches that there were three matters for which the portion of the southwest corner above the red line served as the proper location: the water and wine libations, and sacrificing a burnt offering when they were numerous in the east, meaning the southwest corner. The Gemara asks, what is the reason the sacrificial rites of a burnt offering were ideally supposed to be performed at the southwest corner of the altar? Rabbi Yochanan says because it is the closest of all the corners to the place of the ashes, meaning the place where the ashes from the altar are placed every morning. The crop and feathers of a bird burnt offering are placed there as well. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, bo urei kama gadol kochan shel kohanim, she'en lecha kal be'ofod yoter mimura v'rotza pamim shekohen tzorkan yoter mishloshim am. The Gemara cites a comment pertaining to the Mishnah's statement that when the southeast corner of the altar is too crowded, the sacrificial rites of a burnt offering can be performed at the southwest corner. Rabbi Yochanan says, come and see how great was the strength of the priests, as you have no parts of birds lighter than the crop and feathers. And there were times when the priests would toss them more than 30 cubits from the southwest corner of the altar to the place of the ashes. תצנע נתן מחתה של כסף ועל ראש המזבח פרס וגחולים ערך ואלך וחסו מן המאוכלויס הפינינגויס ויוחד הגיע לרצפה מחזר פרנוך כלפי צפוין הולך בזרחוי של כבש כעשר עמוס צבר עש הגחלים על גבי הרצפה רחוק מן הכבש שלושת טפחים מקום שנותנים מועה ונוצה ודושם מזבח והמלויה. This is as we learned in the Mishnah, Tamid 28b. describing the procedure of separating the ashes. The priest would take a coal, pan of silver, and ascend to the top of the altar and clear the upper layer of coals to this side and to that side. And, using the coal pan, scoop up coals from among the inner consumed coals that descend the ramp. When he reached the floor of the temple courtyard, he would turn his face to the left, toward the north, and walk out 10 cubits along the eastern side of the ramp. There he would heap the coals upon the floor at a distance of 3 handbreadths from the ramp. This was the location where one placed the crop and feathers, and the ashes removed from the inner altar and the candelabrum. The Gemara challenges the distance from the southwest corner to the location described in the Mishnah is more than 31 cubits. The Gemara answers Rabbi Yochanan did not consider the space taken up by the people, meaning the priest performing the service in his location. The Mishnah teaches that everyone who ascends the ramp to the altar ascends via the right side of the ramp, circles the altar until reaching the southwest corner, and descends via the left side of the camp, with the exception of one ascending in order to perform the wine or water libations or to sacrifice a bird burnt offering on the southwest corner of the altar. In those cases, the priest would ascend directly to the southwest corner. The Gemara asks, what is the reason for these exceptions to the standard practice? Rabbi Yochanan says, with regard to the libations, the priest would not walk all the way around the altar, lest the wine or water absorb the smoke of the altar fire. And with regard to a bird burnt offering, he would not walk all the way around, lest the bird will die from inhaling the smoke. ורבינו בא לו להקיף את המזבח, והיינו מתחיל, יקרן דרומיס מזרחיס, מזרחיס צפוניס בערביס, וערביס דרומיס, ונויס לא יין לנסך. The Gemara raises a contradiction from the following Mishnah, Tamid 33b. If the high priest was performing the sacrificial rites of the daily offering, after he would place the limbs on the fire on top of the altar, and he would come to circle the altar, from where does he start walking? He starts from the southwest corner, continues to the northeast corner, then to the northwest corner, and finally arrives at the southwest corner. And he has given wine to pour on the altar. This indicates that the high priest circles the altar while holding the wine for the libation, and there is no concern that it will absorb too much smoke. Rabbi Yochanan says, top of 34b, the akafa beregel amrava daikanami diktani notin lo yain nasech lo gatani omer lo nasech. The circling around the altar by the high priest is done on foot, meaning empty-handed, as he was given the wine. It's on top. The wine. The wine. Top of 64b is given the wine to pour only once he arrived at the southwest corner. Rabbi said the language of the Mishnah is also precise, as it teaches that he is given wine to pour, and the Mishnah does not teach that one tells him to pour the wine, which would have indicated that the high priest was already holding the wine as he circled the altar. The Gemara comments, concludes from the language of the Mishnah that the high priest was given the wine only once he arrived at the southwest corner of the altar. Okay, we'll stop here and continue on with the second Amud.